So maybe we'll skim through them first. Maybe if someone needs something detailed, they can reach out later. But for now, we can just answer them quickly. I think the other question is in the chat section asked by Joseph Murungi.
All the features in Android. Okay, yeah. So Android. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to curse here, but Android is a clusterfuck. A lot change. Like if you go away for 6 months and you come back, you find new things are in the market. So for all these features, it is sometimes how I, or at least the format that I use to learn is you can have your own sample app somewhere that you use to experiment new features. There's a lot of public APIs out there that will allow you to test various aspects of an application. For instance, the movie database or Pokemon. So like you can have your own sample app that you experiment a lot of things. Try to read as much as possible, engage with the community. In Twitter, there's a lot of Android devs who have various texts on different topics. Try to listen to what everyone says. Use social media to your best. In Reddit, there's good questions there. Try to use open source projects. Like one that I reference a lot is the Now in Android. I don't know, I'll just type it in the chat. It is open source, anyone can contribute, and it tries to portray a lot of the newer concepts in Android. So how you learn is by reading. There's no other way. You read, you implement, you read, you implement.
Maybe just to add on to that, is it just as it's the same thing we're trying to do at Hutsy. We're trying to build that community of learning. Like I said, we have huts of 4 people each. People get together, they teach each other, they learn. And we have people from everywhere. I can see we have Tiak Ayuen, who is based in Juba. He's interested in joining a hut, is in the queue, he'll be joining that. We cover that. When I started, I said that I interacted with some of the senior guys. Kibet, I think, was in that meeting. Chas was there. And Chepsi on Tuesday was telling us that when they were doing this a few years back, whenever there was a new library, they used to come together, there Makina Juma, Bukachi, and so on. Then they one of them does anafanya presentation, then they get to learn from that. So it's very important to be if you can find a group, and that's what we're trying to solve here with Hutsy. We get you into a group of 4 people, and then you get to learn, because there's so much, and technologies are changing every other day. We have new libraries every other day, so it's only easier for you to do it. If you're doing it with people, it becomes much easier. Yes. So Reuben, I think we can skim through the other questions. I'm not sure if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can. I think we can start with the oldest ones, yeah?
Yes. Just pick any.
Hello.
Wait. Yes, Sam, go ahead before we pick on the questions.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Clear.
Okay, mine is also a question. I did not get the opportunity kujaza your form. Juadi nimeifungua nikaona haifunguki. So I have 3 questions.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Just a minute. So the first question is, do you offer like internship for the Android developer jobs or the junior developer? And then my second question is, in these companies, can you be employed like, let's say, for example, like me, I live in Juja. Can you employ me here in Nairobi, hybrid? Then once in a while I can be going to the office, another time I'm remotely. And then for the third question, I need your contact, Mr. Reuben. Can talk something behind the scenes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Sam. All right, to your first question, internships in our company, unfortunately not. I work in a startup. And so the startup that I work on is tricky business. I don't mean the business they do, I mean like the work we do, because we are trying to solve some super complex problems. It is simple in hindsight because it is just a shop where you can purchase, like, I don't know how many of us are gamers here, but the company I work for, basically what we try to offer is the add-ons for game, like here in Kenya, how you cannot buy your PS Plus and Xbox. So we partner with these companies, Activision and all of those, so we can offer these products that are not available in Africa. And at hindsight, it looks simple, but until you start working on it, on how many payment integrations you have to do, how many markets you have to support, localization and all of this. I'm hoping we can do internships in the future. Right now, I may not even be the right person to ask this question. That is the engineering manager. Okay, to your second point of hybrid, I think most companies are hybrid nowadays. Like the green company, I'm not going to mention the name. Okay, I think, guys, instead of raising hands, just type it in the chat and then we'll go through it. Yeah, companies do offer hybrid environments, the green company being at the helm of that. So yeah, it is definitely possible, but again, that is up to the stakeholders. And to your last question on my contact details, yeah, sure, I'll share them in the chat after this. Okay, and I think now we can start. The first person who wrote this is a test. I did that in prod too. I sent a notification saying this is a test. So that's not a good idea. What is the experience with Android security-based practices such as secure networking, data encryption, and user authentication? I believe Malcolm is on this call. I used to work at Equity Bank, so we were doing something similar. So in terms of networking, you can use TLS, you can use certificate pinning. There's a million ways of doing this. Data encryption is encryption, yeah. It just depends how you want to store your data. But on Android, there's encrypted shared preferences. There's the Android key store. You can use that to encrypt your data. And yeah, cryptography is a complicated topic, but it is straightforward as you get to know it. User authentication, this is usually, yeah, thank you, Malcolm. He has mentioned something about SQL Cipher for that. So you can use SQL Cipher to encrypt your own database. But it has a lot of issues. Malcolm, you'll agree with that. You're currently dealing with it too, 3 years down the line. So, but yeah, in terms of user authentication, this is on backend. If you're going to store user tokens locally, make sure they're encrypted. Or like in some cases, like what we do at Carry Fast is all our network calls are hashed. So part of the header, we send a hash, which might include the user token, the location of the user, a lot of data. Then we encrypt this as a SHA-256, and then we send it to the server. And not only that, but yeah, some like our calls themselves, they're behind a certificate that will need to make a handshake with the server. So it is a long topic. I can probably share links here, but yeah, security is wide. Okay, I see someone asked Kotlin multi-platform to share code. Not yet, but I play around with it sometimes. It is good stuff. We have a plan to move to, or at least not to move, but to experiment on it. But yeah, KMP is interesting. It is, I would prefer that over Flutter or React Native because I don't like JavaScript. And again, we thank God there are no JavaScript engineers here. Okay. For someone looking for a junior Android engineer role, where do you look for opportunities, including remote ones? See, you can't be a beggar and also a chooser, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like if you're coming up in the industry, and I noticed this is something that, and I'm not sure who propagated that nonsense, that you get into tech and 6 months later you have an Audi. Utangoja. See, that's not the case. You have to start somewhere, and when you're starting out, I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you can't afford to choose. I will give you an example of myself. In 2018, I worked an entire year for a salary of 10,000. Like nilikuwa naekewa M-Pesa end month, and life was okay. So it is like any other industry. You see, Collins is laughing because he was feeding me while we were in campus. But there's no shortcuts. Like take the current point where we are. See, COVID came in and skewed things. More companies wanted people to be remote and so on and so forth. But right now, the industry has quote unquote stabilized. So we are in a case where jobs are normal. You'll get normal 40,000 for a year or a couple of months. Now, don't get me wrong, you might be the exception and land a deal in the US. but that is an exception, not the rule. In terms where you get your Android engineer roles, it's been a minute, but LinkedIn might help. Follow recruiters, especially when you're a junior. You don't have the luxury of recruiters reaching out to you, so you'll have to make that initiative. I think even in Google, you can also like be ambitious, but write mid-level engineer, konini, and go shine. So go to Google, you can create a custom search, and then any jobs that come up that fit the criteria that you're looking for, pick them. But what I'd tell you is get the job that is there right now. Once you have enough experience and you have the luxury of choosing, then you can choose. What is on your opinion on DCA, on DSA? Should we focus on it while learning? Yes. Next. There aren't a lot of Android roles on job boards. Where do you find these job openings? It is tough. It is tough. It is tough for everyone. I'm not going to lie. For instance, like recently we were hiring one Android engineer and we had 2,100 applications. So it is a tricky part right now, but especially since last year, towards Q4 of last year, it has been tough. Yeah, we just hope everything will get better. Yeah, COVID came around and messed everything up, and it didn't help that these large companies, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they're letting people go. So other companies panic, they let people go. But yeah, we are hoping for the best. Hello, Reuben, talk about salary negotiation and interviewing with the hiring agency versus the main company. How do I avoid underquoting or overquoting? You do your research. Do your research. I think Glassdoor, you might find people who communicated there and said, at this company, the range is X and Y and Z. And also, if you can reach out to other people in that company, ask them about the interviewing process. And yeah, salary you see, like when you say underquoting or overquoting, according to who? Because if you say, let's say I want to earn 20,000 and they give you 20,000, unfortunately that might be on you. So do your research first, or better yet, like I mentioned, that meme of pointing guns to each other. The recruiter asks you, how much is your rate, and you ask them what is the budget, and most will tell you a direct answer. How can I, as a junior developer, increase my chances of getting a job as an Android engineer? Okay, I think I answered that. Read a lot, do a lot of open projects, contribute in open source, have a portfolio somewhere, right? Sourcing remote Android roles, got notable platforms one can use. Okay, like for me, my last two cases, they were recruiters reaching out, but usually on LinkedIn, you can find this. There's a place called, my current job, I got it from, let me just type it in the chat. It's called Offerzen. Go there, set up your profile, and then, yeah, if it matches, someone will reach out. Finding local jobs is hard. What's your take on that? If remote, does it mean I have to be full stack, React, Flutter, and native? You want to be a JavaScript developer, by all means, and native. Listen, like software is an open book. You do what works for you, right? Because you can always switch things. But now one issue with that is you don't become an expert in something. So yeah, local jobs is difficult. This I agree with. And it's just not local, it's across the globe, unfortunately. But we just keep hoping everything will work. What does it take to get to levels to apply to Turing, TopTal? Man, it's up to you, man. Apply it. If you fail, you wait next time, you apply it. I know a friend of mine, I'll not mention names, he applied to Microsoft like 4 times and eventually he got it. And he's also working for, hear this out, he will not say it, but he works for OpenAI. So you just apply and eventually you'll get something. During salary negotiation, especially for Kenyan startups, should you always wait according to the JD? This is a very good question. Yeah, because Kenyan startups will want you to work like 10 people, a whole department in one. What I'd say is, do you have options? And can you afford to let the job go? If not, take it, learn as much as you can. If it fails, you tell them to fuck off. What is your take on the current job market? It is shit. Next one. What does it mean when you apply for a job and don't get any response back, does it mean that your CV was not good enough? No, this is a very familiar case where if you ever been in a relationship, a lady told you, it's not me, it's not you, it's me. So it is the company that's shit, not your CV. So good companies will tell you you don't meet this criteria because of X, Y, and Z. But sometimes most companies will get so many applications that they will not have enough time. So in most cases, when you send your CV and you see a rejection almost immediately, that is automated. It is not someone behind the scenes. But most companies, like when they reject you, for instance, where was I rejected at? Flutterwave. They will tell you why they rejected you. Okay, the most challenging aspect with the job hunt is getting your CV selected. What is your take on ATS system? Is it fair game? How can we beat it? Yeah, I didn't send a link here called resume.io. Try to check that out. They have a blank template. You can use it. And yeah, it will basically set your CV to be enough. But like I said, make your CV concise. Don't go on funny stories. Just get to the point. Okay. Any other question? I'm looking at the chat. Thank you guys for the session. You're doing great. For less privileged like me, hope to meet some of you. Yeah, thank you, Thiak. Yeah, I usually say, and it's a shame, like for me, I haven't been active in the community as much. I used to be back when I was in campus. Yeah, but I got fat and tired, so I don't work that much. But yeah, thank you everyone for today. This has been great. Sam, I see your hand is still up. Do you have a question? Contacts. Yeah, so this is my number. Yeah, I've shared my number. Wait, it has disappeared. Oh, I didn't hit send, sorry. So that's my number. On Twitter and LinkedIn, you can find me by my name. Yeah, even Facebook for all people, I'm there too.
Hello, Reuben, the last question.
Mm-hmm.
In an interview setup, can you be asked to show your portfolio? Maybe if you had not created one.
Portfolio, isn't that a design thing? Or what do you mean by portfolio?
Like portfolio kwenye umeweka hapo hivyo, kama umeunda ka app, hata kama hujaweka Play Store, you show off. You
So
know,
try sharing that in GitHub so that you don't.
okay.
I think that was an awesome session, Ruben. Not I think, I know, because I've been in it throughout. That was an amazing session. We were not wrong to think you'd give an amazing session, and for it being your first presentation or your first talk, I think that was exemplary. That's amazing. We appreciate you. Thank you for making time to be here with us tonight. If anyone has a question, again, as we said, you can reach out to Reuben through his number, through LinkedIn, his LinkedIn account, or you can reach out to him through his Twitter account. If you're looking for the social media account tags, I think we have them. We have him tagged on our social media posts as well, the recent ones, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram as well. So if you're looking for him, you'll find him there. Again, I think there's someone who said the link wasn't working, the Google link, the Google Docs link for joining a Hut or Hutsy family. It's working now. Someone has checked it. So if you're still struggling to join it, let me know. Or you can still use our social media platforms at HutsyDevs on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram. You can shoot us a DM and we will help you join one. So thank you very much. My name is Noah Muhindi. I enjoyed moderating this session. We'll continue to interact more. We'll continue to have such fun sessions. We've done so many meetups. We've done so many hard learning sessions. We've done physical meetings before, so we'll have more of those. We'll continue to interact with guys like Reuben Bichage, Chepsi, Juma, and guys with a better experience in this field. So thank you very much. Thank you for making your time. Have a great evening, guys.
All right. Thank you all. Cheers. If you see me one day in Cavalli, ask me to buy you a beer. Not you, Noah, everyone else.